Welcome to A Nice Place to Podcast, a City of Fountain Valley podcast. Join us each month as we discuss all topics, fun, informational, and educational, that's related to Fountain Valley. We appreciate your support and thank you for watching.
Hello and welcome back to A Nice Place to Podcast, episode number 5. I'm your mayor and host, Glenn Grandis, and I'm happy to introduce our guest speaker for today, who is the president of the Fountain Valley Community Foundation, chairperson of the Summerfest committee, dedicated community champion, and overall nice guy. We've got Matt Taylor. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, Mayor.
I appreciate you making the time. So tell us a little bit about Matt Taylor. Who's Matt Taylor?
Wow, that's a big question. Matt Taylor, I've been here and living in Fountain Valley for about 31 years. I moved in with my wife coming out of our education program, and when I started being a professor at Cal State Long Beach. When I was there, I was a speech and debate coach for about 15 years, and then retired from coaching debate and moved over to Fullerton College, where I'm a communication studies professor about 24 hours away from retirement. So I'm ending a long career in education and speech and debate and really enjoyed that. But I'm also a father of 3. All 3 kids went to the Fountain Valley schools, Tamura Elementary, Fulton, and then over to the high school. And we're all active members of the choral program over there, and all 3 of them in the Troubadour program, which was outstanding.
That's awesome. So when your kids went to Fountain Valley, I assume knowing you were probably involved with the school.
We were. My wife and I were co-presidents of VMPA for a couple of years. And
what does that stand for?
The Vocal Music Parents Association. So it's the booster club for the choir program. Gotcha. The director, Kevin Tyson, there has built an amazing program. Several choirs, hundreds of students, but the opportunities that he's created for people really require a staff of support to make sure that they can happen. And there's a wonderful parents association over there that makes it happen. And we got lucky enough to lead that for a couple of years.
Oh, that's cool. I know that we just had them and honored that program at City Hall just a few weeks ago.
Wonderful. So, yeah, it's an amazing program. Yeah.
And what else? What else were you involved with over at the school?
That was our major at the high school. That was our major activity. While our kids were in the schools, we also worked in a youth theater program a lot and volunteered in that program where not only did we get to volunteer, but we got to perform with our kids in musical theater. And I will admit it was outside my comfort zone, but it was a great opportunity to both give back, give to the arts, and do something with the kids. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Well, I know your wife is very talented. Talk about that just a second.
Yeah, she is an amazing singer and actor. In her heart of hearts, I think she wanted to be in theater along the way, but her parents were more practical when she went to school, which is why she became a communication studies professor and a speech and debate coach as well. But the nice thing about what we do is we get to perform every day in front of 35 students. So we have our own little audience, our own little drama and play that we get to do in the classroom. And I think it's been an amazing substitute for her along the way. But yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, and Liana is a professor as well.
She is. She's at Cypress College. And she is both, we met in graduate school at USC. And so I went to Cal State Long Beach from USC. She went to Cypress. And we just have been, for a while, we were coaching against one another. And then once I retired, we just started working together. I was the department chair at Fullerton College in communication studies. She was the department chair at Cypress. We're in the same school district. So that was really nice because we like those academic programs to collaborate, and it made it really easy for us to keep it all in the same district. Yeah.
There you go. Well, very involved family, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's talk about the Fountain Valley Community Foundation. So tell us a little bit about the Community Foundation.
The Community Foundation is the nonprofit arm for the city of Fountain Valley. I like to think of ourselves as the booster club for the city of Fountain Valley.
I've heard you say that many times.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's the thing that makes the most sense to me for 2 reasons. One, it's sort of how my evolution worked, is working in booster clubs from Tamura on. And then once the kids got out of high school looking for something to do, and I found my way to the foundation because of Mark Nix, actually, recruiting me back in the day.
Who's Mark Nix?
Mark Nix was the then community services director, I believe was his title back then.
Yeah, right before Rob Frizzell.
Right before Rob Frizzell, yeah. Right. And he was I'd run into him because I was a vendor. I was working the high school teriyaki chicken bowl and strawberry shortcake booth at Summerfest when it first started.
Right.
And that's where I got to know Mark, was interacting at that. And after a few years, I think a couple of years of that, he said, "Hey, there's this organization over here. Why don't you come, since your kids are getting out of high school, why don't you come join the foundation?" And so, but I also...
Well, tell us a little bit about the foundation. So
Yeah.
what does the foundation do?
I think that there are a couple of... First, most importantly, we provide a space for people who want to give back to their city to come and have fun, right? I think that's one of the big things that we do in all of it. But what we kind of define ourselves around two major purposes. The first is that we do everything we can to support city events. So whether it's the tree lighting, whether it's the egg hunt, whether it's movies in the park, concerts in the park, Summerfest, our organization is there to support the city in putting on the best event that it can along the way. And so sometimes we create activities so kids can color Easter eggs, or they can do balloons or crafts of all kinds. And then other times we're there with volunteer support. And sometimes we're there just to create a better experience, giving out, cookies and free hot chocolate at the tree lighting.
So those are the events that
Right.
the foundation supports. Tell me a little bit about maybe how the community foundation interacts with other nonprofits.
So there's, I think, the two primary ways in which we interact with other nonprofits. The first is that we work really hard to create opportunities for nonprofits in the city of Fountain Valley to help fundraise. And those are specifically the school nonprofits. A lot of our PTOs, a lot of our high school groups are constantly trying to fundraise for new equipment or a trip to nationals. And it is difficult for them sometimes to put on an event that will raise money. Well, the foundation creates events that will help them do that. So for the example, as you know, the poker tournament that
Right.
you've been so successful at running for us, that event raises thousands and thousands of dollars for these nonprofit organizations to help support their needs in the city of Fountain Valley. So that's one direct way. And then the other thing we try to do is we try to collaborate with other nonprofits to work together with the Rotary Club or work with the Chamber to make sure that we are not just trying to support Fountain Valley as an individual organization, but kind of holding hands with the other support organizations in the community and working together to tackle whatever issues and opportunities that the city has.
Well, let's talk about, you mentioned that nonprofits can participate in events that the community foundation does. How do they participate? What do they need to do?
The easiest way to do is to probably visit our website and also our primary social media is through Facebook. So to follow us on Facebook, those opportunities will be typically are announced, and we also keep a nonprofit list of contacts. And so one of the things that would really help us is if we could constantly get updates as presidents and other contacts of these nonprofit organizations change, so that we can then email out and communicate to them when a new opportunity is coming up. And so that's really what the best way to do is to pay attention to the website, pay attention to social media, and then get on our list for email distribution.
And what's in it for the nonprofit? So if they do a 5K or they participate in the poker tournament, what do they get?
Well, they will get almost 100% return on the investment that one of their people make to attend the event. So, for example, with the poker tournament, I believe it's about $25 to enter into the tournament. But if a organization signs up 10 or more people that support the football team or support Tamura Elementary, then we actually will turn around and give them $30 per player for encouraging those people to sign up on behalf of Tamura. And we're able to almost have that 110, 120% pass through, because while folks are at the poker tournament, they're doing additional spending. They're getting additional chips. We call them rebuys. Or maybe they're having a drink along the way. And so we are able to raise funds at that and not only give back the entry fee, but then some. And so that's, yeah.
So it's a sharing of the
It's a sharing,
of the
yeah.
event of the money that's raised that
That's
night
right.
as well. And then what's the requirement of the nonprofit? Do they have to work the event? Do they have to get prizes? What's their requirement?
Their only requirement is to help us market the event and to encourage as many people from their organization to sign up and attend. That is one of our givebacks that we tell the nonprofit organization, we'll do all the work. Our volunteers will show up. We will organize. We'll do all the legwork. We'll get all the proper permits. You just need to get people to the event so that it can be successful.
So along with the poker tournament, we have the 5K
That's
that
right.
we do as well. Do the nonprofits have to collect the money or do anything in that regard?
No, they do not. All the registrations are online. We process all of the registrations through the kind of a credit card payment system. So the nonprofits really do, again, nothing but marketing. And at the end of the event, we issue checks typically within a couple of weeks of the event, and the nonprofits are able to use that money on their next project.
And how does somebody who's signing up, say for the 5K, for example, how does the nonprofit know that they're getting that money, or how does that work?
So when our registration system, one of the questions that everyone who registers asks is a drop-down menu to select a nonprofit organization of their choice. And so I guess that's another way in which people can reach out to the foundation is if they don't see their nonprofit listed on the drop-down menu, they can contact us and we can add that nonprofit organization to the drop-down menu. But almost everyone that registers, at least online, is required to pick a charity.
Got it.
And that way everybody gets associated. Yeah.
All right. And the 5K, do we do that in partnership
With Hyundai, yeah.
with Hyundai?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So that is an event that happens in September, and it's the Hope on Wheels 5K that we partnered with Hyundai for. But the similar to the poker tournament, if organizations sign runners up to the 5K, then they will receive. In this case, I think it's just 100% of the entry fee. We don't have the ability to bump it up with rebuys at the 5K. Nobody does an extra 2K, although that may be an interesting idea to add that to the list. But yeah, we give 100% back to all the local organizations.
All right. So we talked about events that nonprofits can participate in. The Fountain Valley Community Foundation also has a grant program, right?
Yeah, we do have a grant program, and we actually oversee a couple of grant programs. So there are 3 that we're working with right now. Part of it is the Summerfest, part of it is Hyundai, and then part of it is our own grant program internally that we raise funds for. So the Summerfest committee and the Summerfest event, when it has extra funds, it's supposed to be a break-even event. That was our mission, was a party for the people, by the people, that cost the city 0 money. So
I like that part.
yeah, I'm sure you do. So our goal is to always break even with that event. But if there are extra monies, then we have a memorandum of understanding with the city of Fountain Valley that a certain percentage of those will go back to a grant giving program to support people and organizations in the city. So the foundation oversees that Summerfest grant money. We also have a generous donation from Hyundai for their local grant committee. And so we get to supervise grants that come in for the Hyundai grant. And then the foundation itself has an additional grant program for local organizations and nonprofits to come in and find support.
Okay, that's interesting. So if a nonprofit, a program at the school or other nonprofits, what are the requirements? Do they have to be Fountain Valley residents, or what's the requirement? And then how do they apply for the grant?
These are great questions. In order to qualify, you have to serve residents of Fountain Valley. Your organization doesn't need to be in Fountain Valley, but you have to serve residents of Fountain Valley. Our mission is to support the people who live here and improve their lives. And if they're being supported by an organization that's in Tustin, then fantastic. We are happy to work with them along the way. And then in order to apply, if you're interested in finding grant materials, you would go to our website. All of our grant applications are online, and you would download, you fill them out. They end up getting turned in to Rob Frizzell, the current Community Services Director over at Founders Village, the center. So over off of Bashar, across the street from the high school.
And what's that website again?
It's Fountain Valley Community Foundation FV Community Foundation, .com,
.org.
.org. See, you knew it better than me.
FVCommunityFoundation.org.
Thank you.
I'm sure that's going to show up on the screen too. We'll make that easier.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that's a couple of great things that the Fountain Valley Community Foundation does. I know that one thing I really like to see when I'm driving through our streets and such is that Honored Hero banner program. Can you talk about that?
It's a fantastic program. So we have a program that honors active duty service personnel that are residents of the city of Fountain Valley. And at no cost to the family, once we know that someone is serving, we have a banner made and they're put up on the poles, the electric poles around the city. And one of the nice things about this program is that we work with the families so that they get to choose the location so that they are able to see their loved ones coming and going from their home or from work or whatever makes sense for them. And that banner stays up as long as the person is serving. And we also maintain them. So if they become sun-bleached or damaged by wind or some way, we'll take them down and replace them along the way. And it's a fantastic program. We have a generous donor who came up to us about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was, and told us he never wanted a family to have to pay to have that banner up, and has made sure that every family who has someone serving has a banner that goes up on the street.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what else about anything else we should know about the Community Foundation? Like if somebody wants to volunteer, when do you meet?
The we have the activities committee. They meet the third Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. And we meet over at Founders Village along the way.
What's Founders Village?
Oh, no, Founders Village. I'm saying the wrong.
That's right.
It's right. Oh,
the Senior Center.
The Senior Center.
That's how people know it more.
Yes. That's one of those things, when I first... It's about the language of the city, right? When I first started working with Summerfest, I kept calling the sports park Mile Square Park. And Mark
do that.
Nix wanted none of that. And early on, I started calling the Senior Center, and I had a few people whisper in my ear. Council was very clear that they did not want it to be the Senior Center. So I had to change my vocabulary to Founders Village, the center, right?
Okay, so they meet on...
Third Thursday of every month, 7 p.m.
And what does it cost to be a member of the foundation?
Absolutely nothing. All it costs is your time and your willingness to come out and make a difference. Our basic philosophy for the activities committee is, and belief behind the foundation in general is, we love the motto of the city, which is that Fountain Valley is a nice place to live. But it's also very true that it's the only way it stays a nice place to live is if people make it happen, right? We don't wake up accidentally in a city and just go, wow, we're just so lucky that everything randomly is doing so well and that we have all of these great opportunities for families to come out and enjoy living with their kids and experiencing the city. Those things take work, and they take a committed volunteer group who's willing to help them happen. And so I think the spirit is the most important thing you bring to the volunteer committee. And that's a spirit of making a difference, of creating memories for our families, and of being part of that cog that truly makes Fountain Valley a nice place to live. We joke about it, we giggle about it, but we all know there's a little bit of truth to it, which is we really like this space. We really like living in this community because of the things that our foundation helps make happen.
Oh, that's awesome. And what about a time commitment? Like, is there a minimum number of hours they have to volunteer or?
No, we have volunteer shifts at all of our major events. Probably the minimum is about an hour. That's probably the shortest shift. And then we try to keep our shifts about 3 hours is the maximum on any given day. But there's absolutely no minimum or along the way. We have volunteers that volunteer 1 to 5 hours a year. We have other volunteers that volunteer 500 hours a year. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, it's fvcommunityfoundation.org if somebody's interested and wants to sign up. Or do they have to tell you they're coming, or can they just show up? They do not.
They can just show up. We do have a volunteer section, interest section on the webpage you can fill out, but you just show up on Thursday and we'll bring you in and add you to our list. We'll get you a nice blue shirt and a name tag, and you'll be ready to go.
Okay, well, one thing I know, this video is going to be out there over the summer. So what about the summer months?
That's a great question. We don't meet in June and July. We don't meet in June because of Summerfest, and we don't meet in July because of concerts in the park. So our next meeting will be the third Thursday in August. And if I guess that, I think it was the 14th or 16th. But yeah, third Thursday in August, we'll be meeting again.
Okay, anything else we need to know about the Community Foundation?
No, I hope you come out and join us. It will be fantastic.
All right, now we're going to switch your hat.
Yeah.
You wear many hats. So let's talk about my favorite event of the year, and that's Summerfest. So tell us about Summerfest.
Summerfest, what a project, what a love of that event. So Summerfest happens June 13th through the 16th this year. It's Thursday through Sunday. Sunday is Father's Day along the way, so you get a special day to bring out Dad and celebrate at the event. But it is the city's 4-day outdoor party celebration. It's a music festival. We have 2 stages of entertainment. We have over 50 vendors. We have, I think, close to 20 food vendors that are coming, 40 carnival rides. It's just an amazing little, what you might imagine, a kind of a miniature OC fair, and it's all Fountain Valley supported. It's all Fountain Valley volunteers that make it happen, and it's our own little fair in our backyard.
Well, my favorite part of that is the music. Can you touch on the various music stages? Because there's more than one, right?
There are, yeah. So we have the Floor and Decor main stage, where we have acts that are performing all 4 days. This year, it's kind of a cover band focus this year. And Thursday night, our opener is with Elton John and Chicago cover bands. Some of the most popular, the Elton John experience, I think, is one of the top Elton Johns in Orange County along the way. On Friday night, we have Girls Night. We have Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood cover coming in, which should be fantastic. On Saturday, we have Queen Nation coming in. They are a crowd favorite. They for $5 cover at Summerfest, it's one of the best ways or cheapest ways to come in and see that.
I think I paid like $50 to see them in the past.
Yeah, so it's quite the steal. And then Sunday for Father's Day, we have a great combo of Redneck Rodeo and Tijuana Dogs, which is always a big crowd favorite here in Fountain Valley.
Okay, so that's the Floor and Decor stage. Tell me about the community stage. I guess it's the FE Community Foundation stage.
It is the Fountain Valley Community Foundation stage. This stage features all local talent and local acts, and this is our nonprofit stage primarily. So we have school bands and school choirs and the local playhouses. And it's not just kids, it's seniors too. We have some line dancing and square dancing groups that will often join us. And it is a wonderful celebration of the talent and the activities of what's happening in Fountain Valley. And it's all 4 days. This year we have a special on that day, on Friday, for Father's Day. It's going to be focused on Vietnamese performers.
I think you mean Sunday, right?
Did I say Sunday?
Friday. You meant Sunday.
I said Sunday. Yeah, Sunday for Father's Day.
There you go.
Thank you. We have some amazing acts coming out that represent some of the top performers in the Vietnamese community in Orange County. So we're really excited to add that to the stage. And that's the second stage, the Fountain Valley Community Stage.
All right. Well, one of the 4 goals this year is embracing diversity. So for me, that's a really big deal. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah. And it's a goal of the foundation as well, right? We need to make sure that all of our events are representative of who is living in our community. Right.
All right. So I hear there's on Friday and Saturday night, we have a special event happening.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So we've got drone shows this year.
Drone shows.
What's
a drone show?
It's the alternative to fireworks. And it is, I think we have 150 drones that we're working with this company, and we get to design a variety of cool images that will be lit up into the sky. And so all 150 drones are operating on a computer program to create some pretty interesting graphics in the sky. It's kind of the 21st century of fireworks in some ways. It's fantastic. Last year, we did it for the first year. We had such a positive response that we did a little bit more fundraising, and we're able to add two nights this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that last year. That was something new and spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, fireworks, people see fireworks.
Right,
You know,
right.
this is something
It's
that's
new.
truly
Yeah.
spectacular. And the dogs in the surrounding area, they
Yes.
prefer the drone show.
Yeah. All of the folks with pets are much appreciative of the drone show, yes.
All right. And let's see, Summerfest, the other big thing are the rides. So are there any specials for people if they want to do the rides?
Yeah, they're right now at our website. This time I'll get it right. Summerfestfv.com. You can get an unlimited wristband at a discounted price up until the event starts. So for folks who know that they're coming and they want to ride all the rides as much as they can possibly ride, there's always an unlimited wristband option. And right now we have a pre-sale on those on the website.
And is there a special on Thursday night?
Thursday night is what we call the preview night of the carnival. And so instead of coupons or tickets or wristbands, every ride costs $2. And so you can come out and check out the rides the night on the preview night.
All right. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know my wife and I, we're like kids. We love to go on the ride. So $2 night is a good one, and the wristbands are a good value.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
What else about Summerfest? Food? Anything else that we should know about?
Know that the parking is free. That's always important. There are 2 entry gates inside the sports park. So depending on where you park, you can find your way into the event, either through what is known as the Jim Applegate, which is by the Pony baseball fields, or you can come in through the main gate over by the AYSO soccer snack bar, if you're familiar with those fields. But $5 cover charge. The hours are 5 to 10 on Thursday, 5 to 11 on Friday, 2 to 11 on Saturday, and noon to 8 on Sunday.
Well, that's going to be a really fun event that we're looking forward to that. All right. Well, that's this month's Mayor's Message. I'm Mayor Glenn Grandis, your host. We appreciate you tuning in and getting information about the community and about Matt. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful.
All right. So if you have any ideas for a future podcast, make sure that you reach out to us, and you could reach out via fvproud@fountainvalley.gov. And again, thank you, Matt, for joining us. And this is a nice place to podcast. I'm your Mayor, Glenn Grandis. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next month.